Frank Baylis has made a name for himself in Canada's business sector, and now he is running to replace Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. He was a Quebec MP in Trudeau's first government in 2015. He is now the executive chairman of Baylis Medical Technologies and previously sold a heart device business with his partner for $2.5 billion. Liberal leadership candidate Frank Baylis is in studio with us this morning. Great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
This Liberal leadership race has two very strong front runners at present. Mark Carney right now has secured 74 caucus endorsements at last count. Chrystia Freeland has 26 and Karina Gold has 2. As of now, in terms of caucus players, you have 0. But we know this race is not about just caucus members. It's about Liberal Party voters. You are an entrepreneur who has put up $350,000 of money, either your money or other people's money. You must be very confident in your support to stay in this race. Where is your support coming from?
Well, first of all, it's not my money. You're not allowed to put your own money up. You have to go raise the money, so I'm in the same boat as everybody else. And I think that's the right way.
That's a lot of people's money to put towards Frank Baylis.
That's
so where's your confidence and support coming from?
Well, I have a lot of people across the country, so yes, I'm not well known in the Ottawa bubble, but I'm well known in the business sector. I'm well known in the human rights sector. I'm well known in the communities where I've lived and really helped people along. And I'm really touched so many people are stepping up to help me.
You said you're well known in business circles and predominantly in Quebec, I would say, but winning leadership in this race is one thing. Winning in a general election to be the Prime Minister is something else. Name recognition is key in a campaign like that. So while you enjoy prominence in Quebec and in those circles you mentioned, how do you appeal to voters in Tofino or in Medicine Hat or in Corner Brook?
So I've been traveling the country for years, meeting people, just having the conversations with ordinary Canadians. And they're really, as we say in French, embarqués. They're getting on board with what I'm saying. And it's a challenge I have. I'm not someone to shy away from challenges. And I actually feel really, how do I say, supported. I feel supported by wonderful people and encouraged. So it's going really well for me. And I'm getting momentum, we could say.
Do you feel supported enough to win?
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. I feel very confident that I can win.
In an Instagram post announcing your candidacy, you wrote this. You said, "Our mission is simple, prosperity for all Canadians." I found the word prosperity really interesting, given that most Canadians are just struggling with affordability. And one of the criticisms and admissions from members of the Liberal Party is that they just weren't getting it. They weren't listening when Canadians said, affordability is our biggest concern. Do you understand what an affordability crisis feels like when you are such a successful businessman and entrepreneur? You know, selling a company for over $2 billion takes you quite far away from people who are making around $70,000 a year.
Absolutely, I understand it. Let's start off, first of all, I didn't start the company, my mother did. I really want to underline that. And when my mother and I joined her after she started, and I don't think our office was much bigger than a few of these tables. So I started right at the very beginning.
But what's in your bank account would be very different than what's in the bank account, I would guess, of most Canadians.
Absolutely, but what I'm trying to say is that I started off for the first 2 years, I couldn't pay myself a salary. So yes, I'm here today, but that's not who I was. That's not my whole life challenges across the stretch of my life. So no, I get it very much, and that's why I'm committed to doing it, and that's why I'm committed to helping all these people and saying, look, I've created thousands of great paying jobs. I've contributed back to the economy, and I want to do that for all Canadians. I've done it for myself. I've done it for all our team, our employees, and that. And now I see an opportunity to do it for all Canadians, and that's what I'm offering.
But why not do that from the business world? It's very different to try and do it when you're running a country as a politician. Politicians, you know, can move things around, but they can't start and run a company and provide thousands of jobs.
Oh, they can have a real impact. Done right, they're done right, we can get our economy rolling for everybody. I absolutely believe that. Yeah. Done right, we can get our Canadian dollar going up, and our dollar goes up, prices go down. So no, I think I could have a major impact and have prosperity for all Canadians, not just economic prosperity, health prosperity. But social prosperity.
How are we going to get to affordability first before we even look ahead to prosperity?
Sure. So we've got to get our financial house in order. It's a simple math. Like what happens is if we want to buy an orange, we don't grow them in Canada. We have to buy them in US dollars. Every time our dollar goes down, the price of that orange goes up at the grocery store. Now the political class will get the grocery store owners in and yell at them, telling them bad people and that, but they don't have a choice. If the dollar goes down, prices go up. So we need to get our dollar back up. We need to put our house in order. That's what I've done my whole life. So I can do that, get our financial house in order, and then I can also create the great jobs, invest in ourselves, and we'll have great jobs, have more money in your pocket, and things will cost less. That's how we're going to tackle this challenge.
Healthcare is one of your main pillars,
Absolutely.
Understandably. And while it falls under provincial jurisdiction, we do know that the federal government is increasingly involved in trying to fix what is not breaking, but broken in our healthcare system. Quebec right now, where you reside, is a dual private and public model. Would you span that across Canada?
First of all, the federal system runs on the Canada Health Act. So Canada Health Act comes from the federal government. So we have our place there and we pay a lot. I tell Canadians, people might smirk a bit in that, we can have and we will have the best healthcare system in the world.
We've said that before, and it's broken now.
Yeah, but I've spent 40 years in the system. I've dealt with doctors, nurses, administrators, policymakers, government agencies. I see the way forward. I have a path and a plan, and we are going to have the best healthcare system in the world. Absolutely. That's
a really big claim and a short amount of time to do it. Listen, I have to ask you really quickly, if you don't win this leadership race, will you run in the next election?
So I do plan on running. I do seriously plan on winning. I've been a Liberal for 48 years. 4 of those 48 I ran. I don't know if I don't win, if the new leader will want me in any capacity or not, but I'm always going to be a Liberal and I'm always going to be contributing. And I think all the people running are strong, so I wouldn't have a problem working for any one of them.
But are you going to run in this upcoming election?
I don't have a seat. I don't have a seat, and I can't just say I want a seat if I'm not the leader. I can't do that. But I will contribute whatever way I can.
Okay. Frank Baylis, great to meet you here. Great to have you here in studio. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
If you liked that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.